by Riverside.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's 2 o'clock. We're here on a Friday. It's the Bullpen. I'm Tony Mack. That, of course, is Tricky Ricky.
Hey.
Is that Friday feeling?
Hey, did I actually plug in the headphones today?
God, I hope so.
Hey, we got audio that's actually going through the microphones and wearing it on our heads instead of just wearing them and talking to a computer screen like we did last time because I'm a putz.
It's Friday, and in the off season on Fridays, we get to dip out a little early from the office. So when we get done with the pod, we're out of here. And as you can tell, I'm on dad duty.
Dad jacket in the house, baby. We need a dad alarm or something. I don't know what that would be, but the dad jacket's in the building. What color is that? Is that taupe?
Oh, it's very neutral, whatever. It's super neutral.
Super neutral. It's not even a color. Yeah. And if it is, it's probably called taupe, which is one of the most neutral words in the English language.
What would a dad alarm sound like? I feel like it would be.
No, that was more of a groan. That was like a help I've fallen and I can't get up.
I feel like it would be loud noises followed by like, "Don't touch my thermostat."
It would be that clip from Will Ferrell, that skit where he's like, "Get off the shed." It would be that.
Get off the shed.
Uh-oh. Tony Mac's got his jacket on. Hit it. Get off the shed. And then we turn, and then maybe a beat drops, and it's get
off the shed.
Get off the shed. I don't know why it turned into a rave after that, but I think like that sound effect would be the one.
Yeah. Well, I'm on dad duty after this, so I got to go pick up little man.
Get off the shed.
Got to go pick Squirt up, dude. Text says dad jacket is just a jet. It's just a jacket, like Django.
A jacket.
D is silent.
Like Django. Jacket.
The D is silent.
That's cool. I don't even think it's silent. I think that's just like Novak Djokovic.
Yeah.
You know, there's kind of a Djokovic.
Jacket.
It's a weird. It's a hard. That's not even a hard J. That's like it's a sideways J.
I threw it away.
It's an adjacent J.
I threw it away before coming up here.
Yeah.
But like you would in most dad jackets, found an old receipt.
Let's go. Any candy?
No candy. Old receipt, cough drop wrapper.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Dry cleaning.
The other
ticket.
day when I finally wore this jacket for the first time, like because don't have to wear it during the summer, when it started getting cold, reached in there's a couple screws in one place.
Oh, dude, you can do so many things with that. You can repair so much stuff.
I felt like the biggest dad.
Dude.
Just a couple, and there's like a little drywall.
You lithium grease those zippers?
Yeah.
Oh, those are moving good. Let me get that mic right there.
Yeah.
Oh, them puppies are sliding.
Dude.
Man, looking good.
Do you know what ASMR is?
Oh, you know it.
Yeah. ASMR for dads, just like zippers.
Just going up and down.
You know that, what's the scene in
How close I have to get to your chest with my head is really something to try to get this audio. I hope it sounded good.
What's that scene in Big Daddy where he's like, "You want some food?" And he goes to sleep. He's trying to eat that one chip, the sound of the bag and just the chip crunching. Dad ASMR, man.
That's it, dude.
That's what it is.
That's it. Well, congrats, Pops.
Car door slamming.
What you guys going to do later?
Oh, he'll probably poop.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
Me too.
He's going to jump around a lot. He'll jump around a bunch and, just hang up. Be happy to be around dad, dude. He's starting to turn. He's a big mama's boy right now. I mean, because she gives him all the nutrients that he needs. But now that he's able to, like, start doing stuff, he's not mobile yet, but he can sit up on his own. He can jump around and play.
Sweet.
He's starting to realize dad's fun. So when dad gets home, he like yesterday, before I even saw him, I opened the door, and before I came around the corner, I heard like he popped out of he was eating.
Yeah.
And he popped out of his mouth just to turn around and see me.
That's sick.
And Jen's sitting there like, "What are you? I'm feeding him.
Cool dad's here.
Where's dad?
Get off the shit." Is that what you say when you enter the house?
That is not. No, I usually pet my dog.
I can't wait till he gets old enough to where you guys can go out and do something. You can be like, he's like, "I'm hungry," and you can be like, "Well, we'll go to McDonald's on the way home." And then on the way home, you're like, "We got food.
We have McDonald's at home.
We got food at the house." I can't wait till you can pull off that for your first time.
Oh,
you should take a selfie or something. Post it up.
That will be one of the most attainable dad things I will say.
You jump a level the first time you drop that line. The first time you hoodwink your kid into thinking they're going to get a Happy Meal, and you're like, "Nah, dude, we got 2-day-old meatloaf at the house." I knew we shouldn't have done that. There's already a picture up of my head on your chest trying to get zipper audio.
You look like you're smelling me.
It's not good.
Do I smell like a dad?
We need a third microphone. The worst part is there's one in the next room, but I didn't know we were going to have a zipper thing.
I have one on my face. I was trying to get it up to my microphone, but you
I'm here for it, man. And if that's what it takes to get people to listen to this show, then by God, I'll do it. I will put my face adjacent to your bosom in order to get zipper noise.
Well, that's
welcome to Pandaland, folks.
So yeah, well, I'll pick him up and we'll hang out a little bit this afternoon before Mom gets home. We're hanging out tomorrow too. Jen's going. She's got like a birthday brunch with a friend from work.
Sick.
So sitting at home with Oliver.
Sick.
I need to call him by his name more. I do. I need to
what
call.
Do you call him?
Oh, I just call him a bunch of nicknames. Yeah. Like I'll call him Ollie, which he'll obviously catch on to. But I'll call him like Ollie Man. He's my little. I call him Ollie Bear. Bears, he's got a bear as his favorite toy.
Do you call him Booger?
I call him Booger.
Because you called me Booger the other day.
Wait, what?
You called me Booger the other day. You came by my desk and said, "Hey, what's up, Booger?" Yeah. Yeah, you.
No way.
Yeah, you did.
I know you're.
How would I know that?
How
would I know that?
I know you're being serious because there's in no other context would you've ever heard me say that,
buddy. You're slipping in and out of dad.
I called you Booger.
You called me Booger, and I was like offended. I was like, "What'd you just say to me?" Do I got one? And then I was like, "For real though, which am I? I got one in the cave. Do I need to know something?"
So my mom called me Booger when I was a baby. She wanted to call me a nickname that she's one of 8 children that her other that my aunts and uncles weren't calling me. Yeah. She didn't want them picking up the same nickname, so she called me Booger. And then they started calling me Booger, so she called me Bugs. So I call him Booger. I call him Bugs. I call him Goober. I call him Goob. I call him Wiggle Man because he likes to.
I came back from my lunch break the other day and you burped me. Do you remember that?
That's not true. I would remember.
It happened and it worked. It was really nice. If you don't mind hooking me up again, I had a tasty chicken sandwich for lunch. And I feel like I could use a burp.
We've gotten a little too close so far this episode. Maybe after off camera, I'll give you a little pat.
Agree to disagree, but whatever.
Yeah, dude, I call him anything but his name. I call him Ollie Man, Ollie Bear, Booger, Bugs. I call him Wiggle Man a lot.
I do that
when I stand him up. He just
Hey, what's up, Wiggle Man? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do that with my fiance's dog. He had like a stomach infection like 2 years ago, so I called him Poops as a joke. And we call him that all the time. Like that nickname won't die. And it's to the point where if we're watching like an Alabama basketball game on a Wednesday night or something, he'll come sit on the couch with us and we call it Poops and Hoops. It's like a thing in our house now.
Poops and Hoops.
Yeah.
Tuesday night.
Yeah. It's a fun Wednesday. Yeah. But I don't ever call you Poops. You called me Booger.
Dude, so. I had to have just been fresh in dad mode too, because I don't remember that at all. There's no way that couldn't have happened though. You would not have known about Booger if I didn't. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm kind of proud that I did that I called you. Are you comfortable enough to walk by your desk and go, "Hey, what's up, Booger?"
What's up, Bug? I was like, are we fighting? Are we fighting right now?
Robert on the YouTube over here said his dad used to call him Hot Rod.
What did Tony Mack call you? Did he call you Booger? Because he's calling people other than his kid nicknames.
Oh, man. My stepdad to this day still has me in his phone as Mac Nugget.
Dude, I went to school with a guy. I think it was like middle school. And he told me that his parents couldn't think of a name for him for like the first month or two he was born. And they called him Thumper, like the rabbit from, is that Bambi? Bambi. He's like, yeah, my name was Thumper for like 2 months. Then they decided on my actual name. I was like, what? You were named after the rabbit from Bambi? Temporarily?
Were you almost named something else before they decided on Ricky?
No.
I was, my name is Antonio. I was almost a Brandon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said ooh, like that's bad. I just whenever you hear a name that someone almost got, it just doesn't feel right. So you go, oh.
When I was born originally, my last name, I don't know my biological dad, but before I met my dad now, my last name was supposed to be Garcia. So Antonio Garcia works. That's a
sweet name.
It's gonna be Brandon Garcia.
You're gonna be the star of a telenovela.
Oh, mi amor.
El generalissimo. Be a bad guy character.
I'd have
a pencil de mustache.
Evil twin.
Oh, with an eye patch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that didn't happen.
It didn't, because now I'm Macbeth now. So
Mm. Well, cool, man. You want to talk about sports or something?
Yeah, I mean, we can. Well,
because currently the NFL playoffs got like some new rules, and I don't understand a single word of them.
Yeah, man. So unfortunate circumstance on Monday night with the near death of a football player,
which has turned into something amazing.
It really has.
I mean, guy got the breathing tube removed today. He's FaceTiming the team.
Got to actually speak with
doctors.
His family.
Are calling it a remarkable recovery. Like, imagine what it had to be like for Damar Hamlin when he woke up.
He has
to find out that he was a national, like, he's the biggest thing in the country.
I don't, honest to God, don't know if he knows that yet.
And then his charity also made $4 million while he was asleep. Like,
it was at like $2,500 before, and it got to like $4 or $5 million.
These guys got to think he's still like, he's like, is this really the real world I just woke up into? What a story.
The thing that blew my mind yesterday when I found out that he had woken up, I think he woke up like Wednesday night or yesterday morning. I could not fathom what it would be like to take that hit on Monday Night Football and wake up and find out that it's Thursday.
Yeah, right. It's like not even like later Monday.
Yeah, or like early Tuesday morning. It's like almost 72 whole hours.
Crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah, and in that time, you've been the number one story in the country.
So I'm sure they eased him into it, right? I'm sure they've eased him into a lot of what's happening. I don't know when they finally told him like what day it was and what's happened since then. You can't just wake up and be like, hey, guess what, dude? It's Thursday.
Hey, guess what, man? Your entire life from here on out is going to be different.
When right.
You know, like not only just physically, but like you are a known figure.
When he woke up, he couldn't talk because he had the tube in. He had to write notes and everything. And one of the first things he asked was who won the game.
Yeah. That probably really hammers it all home. It's like, dude,
exactly.
They canceled the game. You were dead for a little bit. Like,
God,
there ain't no winner.
I don't know when they're going to break that news to him. Like,
I'm sure he does. Dude.
You've been in a coma as opposed to you were dead for like 10 minutes.
Said he died twice.
Different. Yeah,
once on the field and once on the way.
That's insane. And then they've given so much Crazy. Props, and obviously well deserved, to the medical staff that came out and was doing the CPR, because like not only did that help keep him alive, but that helped keep a lot of the brain function. Like he's going to be, he has the potential to be as close to normal as possible.
Insane.
Full function and everything, because that guy went out there and started performing CPR for several minutes immediately to keep him, the possibility of him being as normal as possible alive. That is amazing.
Really is. I mean, I thought for sure after about 30 minutes into that delay, I'm thinking like at this point, they're just waiting on the time to reveal the news.
Yeah.
Like it was that grim.
That's what I was thinking too.
Crazy stuff. But as a result, we have an AFC playoff picture that I legitimately do not understand. I have read all of the new rules. I've read it multiple times. And when I get done after each time, I make this face. And then I go, what? And then I just go do something else because it hurts my head.
And rightfully so, because
sports aren't supposed to hurt my brain to make me do calculations.
It is very confusing. And to be fair, too, this is the appropriate and proper time to now discuss these things. We know Hamlin is on his way to being okay. He's made drastic improvements. We know he's alive and he's in good care. And the NFL has now voted on some scenarios that we're going to talk about. It was not appropriate to talk about what missing that game meant while he was still laying on the field and not knowing if he was going to be alive or not. People were doing that all over the place, and rightfully so, getting trashed for it. Well, now that the NFL has voted on these scenarios, and we know that Damar Hamlin is making drastic improvements. It's time to start looking at what not having that game could cause the playoff picture to look like in the NFL. And
we got to dive in this. I'm about to pull up like 14 articles. I think
the owners needed a 3/4 majority, so they needed 24 or 32 votes today to approve potential changes. And I'm going to read what those potential changes are. They did get that majority vote. So if these scenarios arise, this is what the playoff picture could look like. First one right here. And there's one that just blows my mind. There's one scenario in here that absolutely blows my mind. But that one's actually saved for last on this.
Take it slow. I gotta absorb this.
So Buffalo's 12-3, Kansas City is 13-3, and the Bengals are 11-4. So if the Bengals had played on Monday night and won, they would have owned a 3-way tiebreaker. Had the Chiefs lost, they would have owned a 3-way tiebreaker. because they beat the Chiefs, and they would have beat Buffalo had they won that game. So that's how important missing that game was to Cincinnati. And here's what's changed. Scenario 1, if Buffalo and the Chiefs both win or tie this weekend, then a Bills-Chiefs championship game would be at a neutral site.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You want to know where the neutral site is?
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Okay.
We don't know. We don't know. To be determined later. If Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Baltimore wins or ties, Baltimore's randomly thrown in here too. If
I know, right?
If Kansas City and Buffalo both lose and Baltimore wins or ties, then a Bills-Chiefs championship game would also be at a neutral site. So that's basically just saying, again, if they're, still.
So it sounds like there's a pretty good chance the AFC championship will be at a neutral site.
Yeah, it's starting to sound that way. Because it's not just if the Bills and Chiefs match up. Other matchups as well could cause a neutral site.
But if the Bills win or the Chiefs win this week, they will have the best record in the AFC. They should get a home AFC championship, right?
No, if they both win, if the Bills and the Chiefs both win, it's going to be a neutral site.
Oh, because the Bills missed that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's going to come down to win percentage at that point, not overall record. Because you're going to have a game absent. So.
Wow.
And then scenario 3, another neutral site scenario. If Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Cincinnati wins, then a Bills-Bengals. What? So now I'm confused. I was like, wait, there's 3 teams listening.
I can't even read this thing. It's so confused.
If Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Cincinnati wins, a Bills or Bengals versus Chiefs championship game would be at a neutral site. So it's looking like an AFC championship is probably going to be at a neutral site.
Timeout. No, keep going. You're about to say something.
I've got a way crazier scenario here coming up, the last one.
Okay.
No, that's all the neutral site stuff, right? And that's all those scenarios involve winning, losing, or ties, right?
Sure.
Here's one for you. If the Ravens win on Sunday over the Bengals and they matched Cincinnati in the AFC wildcard game, then that site is going to be determined by a coin flip.
Coin flip. Not random. Coin flip.
No, we're going to flip a coin. If
all the other ones going to be neutral, this one coin flip.
This one will be a coin flip to determine who gets to host the divisional game. A coin flip. Like we're back in the 1960s playing high school football, deciding a 3-way county championship tie.
Yeah, pretty much.
There are infinite scenarios that would be better to determine a home or away. Why not let the athletes figure it out in some way, right? Let's have an athlete-sanctioned competition where they understand, okay, we want our players or player to do this against their player or players, and then we're okay with it being hosted. Like, why can't the quarterbacks arm wrestle for it? Or
see the video of that guy snapping his arm wrestling?
Oh, yeah. Aiden Ross
can't do that.
Bodyguard.
Okay. No. You tell me Josh Allen going to do a arm wrestling, see who gets home field, and then
well, it'd be
now we got
Lamar
Case
Jackson.
Keenum playing in the game? Nah.
Be against Lamar Jackson, too. He'd probably win that one. Josh,
no, you can't do arm wrestling. Guy. You got to do something that doesn't put him in physical risk.
Get your offensive line. Look, hey.
Who can hold their breath the longest? Maybe a relay. Maybe you get your 5. You get your 5 best guys with the best lungs. In 1, 3, 2, 1, go. Then when one guy's out, all right, next guy. Nah, that'd be too easy to cheat.
Get your best
cheat through the nose.
Best offensive lineman, your quarterback, your best defensive player, and you have like a 5-legged race against the other one. You tie the legs.
Is this field day?
Yeah, dude, absolutely. You got to do something besides a coin flip. Have an egg toss.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, those are great athletes too. That'd probably be a pretty entertaining egg toss. Soft hands. You tell me Jamar Chase couldn't do an egg toss?
Stephon Diggs. Jamar Chase for Stephon Diggs in an egg toss?
The Pro Bowl did it. Pro Bowl said, let's get rid of the game. We're going to add little mini games.
I guess this one would be in the Ravens Bengals. So it would be, what, Mark Andrews against?
Yeah. The pass catchers. Nick Boyle.
That's a good idea. Why don't we have that contest? Where's that contest at? The Pro Bowl competition. Why don't we have that to determine who's going to – a version of that to determine.
Staring contest. Everybody's name in a bowl. One guy picks a name. Okay. All right. Joe Mixon. Here you go. Let's see. Marlon Humphrey. 3, 2, 1. Oh gosh. Oh, we just lost home field. Oh God. Oh, my astigmatism gets me again.
We would definitely find a way to advertise that also, or televise that for sure. It's got to be on TV.
Wow, wow, wow. This Sunday. Wow, wow, wow. 2 pupils. Wow, 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 wow. 1 home game. I don't remember how the rest of that song goes, but yeah, it's a pretty sick build right there. We can do that. That's marketing that's going to, when I see that, I'm like, yeah. I'm watching that over those like matches like they do for golf, where it's like, hey, go watch Steph Curry and Patrick Mahomes play Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau. I don't really care about that. Whoa. Those 2 football players about to do a staring contest? Where's the remote? I want on that.
Play a game of chess.
Let's pull out some ESPN ATO show. Yeah. Have a game of dodgeball.
Best of 5 Connect 4. Let's go.
Pop a shot.
Jenga.
Jenga. Tiddlywinks. Pickup sticks.
Who can correctly assemble and play a full game of Mousetrap, the board game? Game never works right, ever.
The trap never goes down like it's supposed to. You ate the cheese. That'd be a fist fight. You couldn't do Mousetrap. That's going to end terribly. Someone's flipping the board and getting punched.
He ate the cheese.
You ate the cheese. You ate the cheese, Lamar Jackson. You're playing in Cincy. That man ate the cheese. I'm throwing my review flag. Whoa, let's go to the cameras and let's go ahead and check. After further review, Lamar Jackson did indeed eat the cheese. That's a home game for Cincinnati. Oh my God. Oh, they will keep a timeout for this week's divisional playoff game. Something. Coin toss does kind of stink.
It's the worst.
I mean, we had a coin toss in overtime last year, Bills Chiefs. And that was the coin toss heard around the world. Now we're like, oh, what would have happened? Oh, let's get rid of the coin toss. Let's do this. Nobody ever likes the coin toss. The coin toss always ends with us going, what should we do instead of a coin toss?
Dude, I just feel like by now we could figure something out. Like, even if it doesn't even happen that often, we should go through the rule book and any antiquated thing that says coin toss, like it's something will be determined by a coin toss, come up with. This is a $1 billion industry. That's too much pressure on George Washington, man. You don't need to do that to him. He's on the quarter, right? Yeah, it's too much pressure on George Washington.
I don't think they flip an actual U.S. quarter.
What else would you flip?
A specialty coin.
You're going to make a specialty coin for this coin toss?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The 2023 special playoffs coin.
Can we get someone to sponsor it? Yeah,
brought to you by Amazon. Brought to you by AWS. A drone's going to drop the coin.
Oh, God.
They'll find a way to sell it.
Hey, tiebreaker, drone racing. There you go.
Drone race.
You ever seen drone races?
That would also end in a no contest because they would probably screw it up and then we'd have to find a new way to do it. Be like, dang it. Maybe we should just do coin toss.
Good old game of hopscotch.
Maybe like, you'd build a rocket like in like 5th grade for like science class or whatever.
Oh, whose goes eyes?
Yeah, like, hey, here's your parts. See you in 2 days.
I'm not opposed to that. I don't hate that.
Wow, wow, wow. Guy's not used to building things. Wow, wow, wow. Needing to build stuff for a very important game. Wow, 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 wow. This is probably going to end poorly. The NFL playoffs. On ESPN.
Oh, my God.
There's potential there.
Just way better scenarios.
There's potential.
So, yeah, that's what's going on this weekend in football. So
I don't think I know anything more. We didn't even talk about the potential 8th seed, them adding a seed to the AFC.
Oh my gosh, I still
like. How does that work?
Still don't even
like
understand.
Now the Chiefs are being affected. Now pretty much everybody, but the only people who benefit are the 2 teams that weren't playing in that Monday night game and were out of the playoff picture. Like if you're the Titans and you rested your starters week 17, knowing all you have to do is win week 18, then you get to win week 18. And it's like, oh, even if we lose that game, maybe we'd have a chance at the 8th seed.
That's true.
It's kind of like, well, okay, well, great. Not like, I don't know if the Titans even win that game if they try, considering they're currently starting a 3rd string quarterback in their fight for the playoffs. But I don't know, man. But then again, what are you going to do? It's not like you're playing for a guy to lose consciousness in the middle of the game and then to the point where it gets canceled.
That's true. I don't know. I think we should stick with the whole, and then the whole bye and neutral site scenario. Let's not add a playoffs.
Well, does the NFC get that? Do they keep a bye? Is there an NFC team that gets to play one less game? Is there one less playoff team in the NFC?
Well, they're not adding a bye, right? They're just like the.
Well, the thing is, if they add an 8th seed, the 1 seed won't get that first round bye.
Well, because you have
2-on-2.
Keep it simple and don't add an 8 seed. Just stick with the 1 team gets.
But that's what they're doing.
Yeah, but they shouldn't do that. That's what I'm saying. They shouldn't do that. I disagree that you should not do that.
Yeah, but we're doing it.
Oh my God,
it does seem confusing that they're doing that though. But no, it doesn't, because if you get rid of the bye, you have to add another team or someone gets a bye. But you can't give the bye to anybody because you don't know because of that canceled Monday. You're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't in this situation.
I don't. Oh, my head hurts.
But I don't know. Do you also do that in the NFC? It feels like you should, because why should a 1 seed get a bye there and the 1 seed in the AFC's got to play 3 straight games to get to the Super Bowl?
But my eyes are going to go cross if I think about this anymore. I don't.
It's way too close to the weekend for my brain to hurt this much. Yeah. I got the brain pain, coach. I'm like Bobby Boucher's mom, or the horse. Whenever she get on, I got the brain pain, coach.
Yeah, I don't like thinking about this anymore.
I need some water blessed by an Eskimo priest.
We need to move on to other important things.
Yeah, we do.
College football. There's a lot going on in college football. You've got national championship game on Monday, so we'll have another show to kind of preview that and get ready for that game.
Yeah,
Monday night, Georgia and TCU, which is still so crazy about TCU and Georgia. The story is there. Georgia can go back-to-back. Stetson Bennett can become like the greatest Georgia quarterback ever, which is weird to think about, winning 2 championships and everything, because that's how they will look at him for sure. And then on the TCU side, you've got what's fascinating for me to think about TCU, and I'm not trying to preview the game here because we can do that on Monday, but I'm more so looking at TCU next year and how interesting that is coming off a national championship game, because obviously you got players that want to come and play for them. And you're getting several of them in the transfer portal, which we'll discuss here in just a second. But several well-known players that played at very highly touted schools in college football want to go play for TCU now. But Max Duggan isn't going to be there next year. But what's so crazy to think about is TCU next year is going to have their starting quarterback from this year next year, because their starter this year didn't play. And they're in the national championship game with Max Duggan, who was their starter last year, now was a backup, and then Mordecai gets hurt. Now he gets to come in and play. It's insane that they were able to make a championship game with a guy who's their backup quarterback.
Hacksaw Max Duggan, dude. Guy's gutsy. I've been talking about him even before this year. I love that guy. He was a fantasy football wizard. He'd go throw the ball. He'd go run like a crazy person. Always a big fan of his. But, man, yeah, what a year for him. I mean, you start off losing the job you've had for a couple of years, then end up getting it back, almost won a Heisman, and now you're playing for a championship. It's college football, man. It was like Stetson Bennett the year before.
Hear me out.
Okay.
If you're TCU, I know you got your quarterback that was supposed to be the starter this year coming back next year. Don't close the door on looking in the portal for a quarterback. And I'm going to go NFL here. I'm going to look for a specific tangible that similar to what the NFL does. They look for size and hand strength and stuff. Yeah. If you're TCU, you need to look for one thing and one thing only: red hair.
What?
Red hair.
Is that the key to Max Duggan's success?
We think about the TCU great quarterbacks. I can think of 3 off the top of my head that were good quarterbacks at TCU. 2 of them now, red hair.
Andrew Dalton.
Andy Dalton. That's right. And now Hacksaw Max Duggan. 2 redheads.
There's 2.
Keep going.
Those are the only 2 quarterbacks.
Name me 2 more TCU quarterbacks that were good.
Dan McCarthy.
I can.
83.
Trayvon Boykin's the only other one that comes off the top of my head.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, red hair. Go after a redhead.
I think that's a mistake.
Go get your redheaded quarterback. It's worked out twice. Okay. It's worked out twice.
All right.
For them. Get your redheaded quarterback.
I feel like maybe offensive scheme should probably be factored in it.
No, it doesn't matter.
Nah, you're right.
Doesn't matter. He's kissed by fire, dude. Go get your redhead.
I don't. What? Where did that come from? Get you a redhead, TCU. They're going for red jerseys because they've got about 3 Alabama players in the transfer portal already.
It's true.
So they're going for red. You are correct, but they were going for jersey now instead. I
said it was Mordecai. That didn't feel right. It was Chandler Morris that was their backup.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
It's Chad Morris's son.
Oh,
yeah, cool. But he was their starter this year till he got hurt. But anyways, yeah. So TCU in the transfer portal, you're exactly right. They've been going after Alabama recruits, or Alabama transfers, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Like you're in the national championship game, and at the very least, you're getting guys that are talented. And some of these guys aren't like the attitude problems like we had last year with the Jai Hall and Julia Billingsley, right? Those were attitude issues. And again, Julia Billingsley, I think, is going pro. And Jai Hall's transferred from Texas now.
Billingsley's going. Well, he really has nowhere left to go.
I think, but I know Jai Hall's not at Texas anymore either.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But some of these guys are just victims to either having guys that are better or just being injured. Trey Sanders is one.
Sanders.
That's a talented dude, and he's got his head on,
5-star out of high school, but then he tore his ACL before he ever hit the field freshman year.
And he's still been there several years. He didn't just tuck tail and leave. So that he's probably a good attitude guy to have on your team. You've got him and which receiver was it?
JoJo Earl.
JoJo Earl. Okay, I was.
Who was the guy that was supposed to be factored into the offense big time this year? Got injured.
Big time athlete, fast. Speed.
Yeah, and then kind of never really became something in that receiver core. Mm-hmm. And then they got Brockermeyer. Is it James Brockermeyer? I know Alabama got a couple of Brockermeyer brothers.
I thought it was Tommy Brockermeyer.
Maybe, I don't know. They got a lineman as well.
He was transferring over to TCU. But here's the interesting part about that. And it's great for TCU to get those guys, right? Mm-hmm. But this is where Sonny Dykes taking shots at the SEC, like random shots at the SEC, is coming back to hurt him. He took that random weird shot at Georgia, which even now they're playing each other. It didn't matter because the type of team he was talking about, it doesn't fit what Georgia is.
Dude looked like that manager from the Mississippi Braves 10, 15 years ago. Took the rosin bag, army crawled to the mountain, during that tirade. He's just launching them bad boys, Sonny Dykes.
Oh, dude. And what made that so weird is that he's taking a shot at the SEC. The only SEC team he could have played in the playoff, which he's about to play, is Georgia. And Georgia didn't even fit the mold of what he was talking about. What he was saying was that he hates that the SEC gets basically a bye week in November. They play, this non-conference crap game.
Right.
With Austin Peay or something. Georgia didn't get that this year. Georgia's non-conference game in November is Georgia Tech. So they played an SEC game when everyone else was playing Austin Peay. So it didn't make sense. But that's not the only shot he's taken at the SEC right here. And you brought this to my attention yesterday. This article about Trey Sanders becoming the third Alabama player to transfer to TCU, again behind JoJo Earl and Tommy Brockermeyer, the offensive tackle. At the very bottom, it's just 3 or 4 paragraphs of, this guy grew up here, this guy grew up here. They're all Texas natives. Sonny Dykes is getting these guys. And then at the end, just throwing shade in the form of a Sonny Dykes quote. It says, quote, "We expect to compete against Alabama, not only in recruiting, but on the field," TCU coach Sonny Dykes recently told ESPN's Dave Wilson. So the thing you don't want to do, you don't want to start taking a bunch of guys at Alabama that can't play for them, because in theory, they shouldn't be able to play for you either.
How long ago did he say that?
I don't know. I looked up that quote, and all I got was this article. So
I know. I'm reading that article. I'm thinking, Trey Sanders going to TCU too? That's crazy. And all this info. And then right at the bottom, I'm like, wait, what? Why would that quote be in there? There's no way he said it the day that Trey Sanders signed, or else you're just saying, hey, Trey Sanders is a bum. He's going to be a bum here too. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the team, you bum.
And on the surface, 2 months ago, had I seen that quote 2 months ago, TCU still undefeated, on track to, as long as they go undefeated, they're in the playoff. I'm sitting there looking at that going, you know what? I get where he's coming from, right? He's trying to build a program here. He's going to have a lot of recruits that want to come play for him now. Good for you, Sonny Dykes, setting the bar. I probably don't believe you, but good job setting the bar. And then fast forward to now, he's got 3 very highly ranked dudes in recruiting when they had originally signed with Alabama, now going to play for him. And that is a great thing. until you factor in that quote where he was like, yeah, if they can't play for Alabama, we don't want you because you shouldn't be able to play for us either.
And the thing is, it's even crazier is like when Alabama has guys transfer out, it's only the guys that couldn't make the starting lineup. It's not like you're going to see Dallas Turner go into the transfer portal or like a big name guy who's returning next year. Where look at Wake Forest, Sam Hartman, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He's leaving Wake Forest because Notre Dame's a bigger spot for him. No one's leaving Alabama for a bigger spot. So, Sonny, if you're going to get Alabama players, you're strictly only getting dudes that you deem are not good enough to play for you.
That's insane.
If you're a coach, you should probably never, in this day and age, just be, and I always used to get on Brian Harsin for all of his coach speak. Maybe that's just the way to do it. You just never give an answer ever again, because someday you will probably go against whatever you said.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of quarterbacks,
maybe Harsin had it all along, man.
Speaking of Alabama players and the transfer portal, I had heard this morning on the radio where the idea, now that Bryce Young's leaving for the NFL, the idea of maybe a Ty Simpson not being ready and
Jalen
Milroe not necessarily, looking great in his spots last year. The idea of a bridge gap quarterback coming in and transferring in and being a guy there in Tuscaloosa for a year. I on the surface, don't hate it. I don't think Nick Saban's ever done that, right away. Like Jake Coger was a transfer, but he didn't play right away. Trying to think. All the other guys were recruited, right? Jay Hurts was recruited, Jones, Tua, Bryce. So it feels weird that's what we're looking at. So I'm trying to I don't have a place in my mind where I can immediately tell you, well, Nick Saban's probably looking at this guy, because they don't strike me as a guy who looks for transfer quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Who would you, if there was a bridge quarterback in the transfer portal that you would want, who would you have wanted?
Drake May, North Carolina.
There you go. That's a good one. The one I heard floated around today was a guy with experience. He's got 4 years of starting in college football. Or at least 3 years starting. I know he's played for 4 years starting in college football. And I heard a former Alabama player say that this wouldn't be a bad move for Alabama. And I couldn't disagree more. Spencer Sanders, Oklahoma State.
Please. No.
Oklahoma State, Spencer Sanders. He's in the portal right now.
I think when you're a school like Alabama and you can recruit 5-star guys that are capable of probably starting as true freshmen, what's the point of bringing in some dude like Spencer Sanders who might be a good college football quarterback, but is he great?
He's not.
No.
I don't think he's all that good.
But if you're recruiting guys who are looked as blue chip, could be great guys, why would you bring in a Spencer Sanders? Because all your guys, you're never going to get big time quarterback recruits. You're going to Indianapolis Colts yourself and end up with rentals, and you see how well it worked for them. And plus, it's so hit or miss with these guys. They might be good on a certain level, but then they go somewhere else and it doesn't work. I think you're better off your school like Alabama. You go get your guy, and if it doesn't work, like a DJ Uyunglele at Clemson, 5-star, big time, had his chance, couldn't cut it, they leave. Cade Klubnik, freshman, blue chipper, let's let him take the reins now. That's the way to do it. You let your stars leave. You don't bring in at the quarterback position, at least.
Okay. For Alabama, I agree with you. I think that's the good way to look at it. And looking at Spencer Sanders' stats, he started for 4 years at Oklahoma State. And he's thrown for 67 touchdowns total, which for 4 years starting is not great. He's attempted 1,200 passes.
These are all Big 12 Oklahoma State numbers, too. Yeah. So it's like, take that with a grain of salt.
He has thrown a career 40 interceptions. 4-0. That feels like a lot in college football. And he started for 4 years, but I couldn't tell you who's thrown for more than that in the last few in college football and actually still started. He's thrown 11, 8, 12, and 9. He's thrown double-digit interceptions twice, and threw for 9 interceptions this season.
That's why I like a guy like Drake May, redshirt freshman. Mm-hmm. Like, if he's going to transfer over, you're going to have him for a while. And if you lose some quarterbacks in the process, that's fine, because you've got 2 to 3 years to find new stud freshman 5-star guys. Spencer Sanders, you're going to wreck your program, and you're probably going to go 8-4 doing it.
That does not feel like an Alabama caliber player.
That feels like a Purdue style move. That feels like a Arizona kind of move.
Yeah, not Alabama. Not an NFL caliber player at all.
Feels like Wisconsin, maybe.
Other movers and shakers going on. You mentioned Sam Hartman going to Notre Dame, transferring to Notre Dame.
That's a big one.
That is, man.
I love him. I think he is incredible.
I thought he was going to end up somewhere in the SEC, kind of like I can't think of his name now. Devin Leary ended up at Kentucky.
Oh yeah,
from NC State. So I thought Sam Hartman, with the offenses now in college football, could have made some program very happy in the SEC, even if it was a lower tier. I think he would immediately improve a program like Missouri, who's got a really, really nice set of receivers, especially Luther Burden, who's a 5-star. You want to keep that guy happy. Thought maybe he could go and improve a program like that, but instead he goes into one of the biggest programs in college football in Notre Dame. And I'm curious to see what they look like, because I've just been, especially under Brian Kelly, so conditioned to look at their quarterbacks as nothing more than really game managers, and they're nothing special. And Sam Hartman has been special at Wake Forest. So it's a great move. You're exactly right.
Never forget that clip of Tommy Reese up in the box yelling at his quarterback on that like home phone, that they have on the sidelines. Do your okay. Yeah, they were like, dude, we got to get a quarterback because I can't stand these guys in our current QB room.
When the best quarterback in recent memory at Notre Dame is Ian Book, you gotta.
By the way, Ian Book started like 2 games for the Saints this year, and it was so.
The only reason,
or maybe it was the preseason, but oh my god. The Texans Saints, Jeff Driscoll versus Ian Book, last preseason game of the year, where they're playing like a majority of the game, almost made me fall out of love with football.
The only reason Ian Book looked
like a game of Red Rover. It didn't even look like football.
The only reason that Ian Book looked any kind of okay in college football is because of the direct comparison of who he came in for that year. And I believe, I'm trying to look it up now to confirm, but I believe it was Brandon Wimbush that was their quarterback before.
Yeah.
And let's see. It was Brandon Wimbush. And Brandon Wimbush in college football had a career completion percentage of 50.7 the year before. He came back in 2018 and started a few games before Ian Book took over. He had completed a full year at Notre Dame, his only full year starting, completed a total of 49.5% of his passes. Then you bring in Ian Book, who's safe with the football. He was also, game manager.
Ran it a little bit too.
Yeah, but it was a safer option and turned out better, but he only looked good in comparison. He completed 68% of his passes, but he only threw for like 2,600 yards. He was nothing special.
He had some targets too. Wasn't Chase Claypool there at that time? Wasn't Cole Kmet there at the same time?
Let's see. Their leading rusher was Dexter Williams. Leading receiver was Miles Boykin.
Yeah, they got Chase Claypool. They had Cole Kmet there. They had some good targets.
Who can forget Chris Finkel?
Laces out. Laces out, Finkel.
The other thing, we've been talking about Jim Harbaugh and whether or not he was going to stay at Michigan or go pro. Last year, you called it. He was staying at Michigan. You were one of the only people I knew that called that correctly.
Thank you.
This year, we both think he's going pro. I was starting to second guess myself because he kept kind of doubling down and was like, why would I want to go anywhere? I thought that was kind of like initially thought it was a move where like, okay, maybe he's not getting the money he likes, the offer wise, and he's kind of trying to, strong play his hand. But then I find out this morning that Michigan got hit with with an investigation from the NCAA. So Michigan is now under investigation for some recruiting infractions that they have committed. And right before the show, we were enlightened on what those recruiting infractions were. And Ricky, I got to be honest with you. After seeing this, Jim Harbaugh should go to the NFL because he should be banned from college football forever. He should never be allowed to coach young men and set an example for young men after the disgusting display that he did that now has Michigan under.
I'm thinking we throw him in jail.
Yeah, honestly. Might as well. Here's what, according to Unnecessary Roughness on Twitter, rumors swirling Jim Harbaugh's level 1 NCAA violation was for buying a recruit a hamburger at Brown Jug.
You sick son of a gun.
You psychopath.
You scallywag. How dare you?
This is
what are you doing buying that man a cheeseburger? Give him $1.7 million like all the other schools and play by the rules, Jim. That's not how we do it.
How about the NCAA acting like the jealous girlfriend? The NCAA found a receipt and that Harbaugh wasn't honest about it. Hey, whoa, hey, what about this? Well, you see this right here? I found this in your dad jacket pocket. And it says you went out to lunch and you got a burger, but it says you only said one, but there are 2 burgers on here, and this one had onions on it. You don't like onions.
Is that what got
Explain
Harbaugh?
Yourself, Jim.
Was it the dad pocket? Is that what got him?
Maybe, dude.
What the heck is this?
Yeah.
Dang it.
He's out there going for a dad jog, and they went in there and they found it in his pocket.
In all seriousness, the Harbaugh thing, like I was kind of like you too after I said, I think he's going to go to the NFL. Like I went back to my desk after the podcast and I'm like, dude, I don't know. I think he's just going to stay in college. And then he releases that statement talking about, how his commitment to Michigan. But
dude, he quoted Bo at the end too, Bo Schembechler. And that's when I was like, okay, he's bringing Bo into this. He's probably going to stay.
It was worded interestingly.
I thought the same thing. I thought it was kind of, to me, what it read like at first until I read the Bo Schembechler quote, it was worded like a guy who's in a standstill where he wants more money. He's like negotiate. This is a negotiating.
It didn't seem like a guy who's like, I'm ready for next year here at Michigan.
Exactly. This sounded like a negotiative quote.
Listen to this first bit of the second paragraph of his thing. It goes, as I stated in December, while no one knows what the future holds, I expect that I will be enthusiastically coaching Michigan in 2023. It's like, what do you mean? I expect.
I'll tell you exactly.
They're not firing him.
I'll tell you exactly what it means. It means, look, I expect to be back as long as they reach my demands. Right. As long as they want to pay me the money because this NFL team's offering me this. If Michigan wants to pay me this, I mean, I expect to be here because I expect them to pay me. That's
exactly what this was. It's like, hey, if I leave, not my fault. I told you, I expect to be here. My boss didn't want me here anymore.
100%.
Harbaugh's gone. Harbaugh's gone.
Well, yeah, dude, after doing stuff like
this. He's gone. And dude, Michigan football's over here tweeting it out and talking about Michigan man through and through. It's like, dude, he did not.
He went to the Brown Jug and got not 1, but 2 burgers, dude. 2. You think Jim Harbaugh's putting away 2 burgers?
That's disgusting.
In this economy?
That man's getting an offer. He's getting big-time NFL money. He knows it. He's throwing it around. In this economy, to spend that much money on a lunch? What are you, insane? Think about the cholesterol.
You thought about the cholesterol.
You haven't thought about it, have you?
You idiot.
Nah, Harbaugh's gone, dude. He's going to go. It's Carbaugh season. He's going to Indy. Derek Carr, Jim Harbaugh. You see that video floating around from Saved by the Bell where Screech is Jim Harbaugh's cousin?
No.
You haven't seen that clip? I'm going to download it real quick. We'll play it on here.
Speaking of Carbaugh season happening, there was like a reshuffle.
Hashtag Carbaugh.
There's a podcast or something somewhere where a couple of NFL Network guys or a couple of NFL guys that cover the NFL were predicting where the quarterback carousel is going to end up this year, like what quarterback's going to play where. And tell me this doesn't fit like a glove considering the players that since Arthur Smith's been there that they've collected. Ryan Tannehill was projected by both of those guys to be in Atlanta.
Tannehill is the perfect.
Going and playing baseball. The 2019 Tennessee Titans that currently play in 2023 in Atlanta. It's exactly what he's going to do. All right, what we got?
All right, hold on one second. Almost got it in there.
We got Carbaugh.
A little Carbaugh action from Saved by the Bell. I've seen this episode. He's got some pretty good acting chops. All right, you ready for this?
Better or worse than Les Miles?
You tell me.
All right. Hey, everybody. Look who I found wandering around the halls. You'll never guess who Screech's cousin is.
Hi, everyone. I hope I'm not too late.
Jim, you made it. Everyone's probably just a little bit confused because we look so much alike. But this is my cousin, the real Jim Harbaugh.
Screech's cousin was Jim Harbaugh, dude.
Hey everyone. I hope I'm not too late.
I don't think I had the volume up very high on that one. Let me I know. I love the
hey,
intro
everybody.
into the room.
Look who I found wandering around the halls. You'll never guess who Screech's cousin is.
Hi, everyone. I hope I'm not too late.
Hey, everyone. Hope I'm not too late. He gets him with a little elbow bit.
Oh, hey, everyone. Sorry, Jim Harbaugh. Sorry, I was late.
But this is my
hit him with a
cousin,
little elbow.
the real
Sorry, hope I'm
Jim
not too
Harbaugh.
late.
I think even when Screech goes, my cousin, the real Jim Harbaugh, I think Harbaugh looked in the crowd and went, like, hey, you're breaking the fourth wall, Jim. This classroom doesn't have a live studio audience. Act like it.
You're breaking the fourth. You haven't thought of the fourth wall.
You idiot. You'll never be a head coach at Michigan. Yeah, yes, I will, Screech. Yes, I will.
Oh, my gosh.
He's going back to Indy, folks. He's going back home.
I think he should.
He's got to see Screech and the family, man. Rest in peace, Screech. I
was going to say.
The character.
Okay.
Play along. We're talking crazy.
I'm sorry, Screech.
Play along.
I didn't know if I was breaking news to you or not.
No, I know.
All right.
I think about it every day.
All right. You want to hold a dead man's meat mallet?
You could have worded that better, but yeah, this is the thing.
I don't know. Out of any of those that I'd feel bad about, it's not Gallagher, because from what you've told me, Gallagher was kind of the worst.
Not one of my favorite humans, but hey, he's gone now. His mallet stays in this studio too.
It hasn't left. It's been here for months. Oh man,
I don't know what it's a reminder of, but
finally, before we get out of here.
Oh, hey, sorry guys, sorry I'm late. I'm Jim Harbaugh.
Before we leave, I had a question. I heard this the other day, and out of all the random things you and I have talked about on this podcast, on our radio show that we used to do, I'd never asked you this question, and I feel like you would have a good answer for this question. What would your last meal be in prison?
Porterhouse steak, cooked medium, side of some steak fries, like a good steak fry. It's not a popular opinion.
Those are all steak fries.
I love them. With a little banana split and a nice cold Budweiser to wash it down with. Cubs win. Cubs win. That's what I'm going with.
Oh, man. I was hoping you'd have something a little more creative because steak seems common.
A bowl of Lucky Charms with a porterhouse steak sticking out the middle of it. Why not? What do I care about?
Milk steak.
I don't have to worry about the tummy ache I'm going to have later.
So
that's on the state. I don't have to handle what happens then. You know what I mean?
Your favorite food, milk steak.
Boiled over hard.
Boiled over what?
Boiled over hard. What are you talking about? Hey, Booger. You giggled one. You giggled a buddy out right there.
Sorry.
Take care. There you go.
Oh man. Oh no.
What would yours be? Wipe it on the dad jacket. That's what it's there for.
That's right.
That's right.
It just rolls off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I don't know. So for me, I would want, I don't know, steak's probably the first thing that comes to my head, but that's just such a common answer.
You think about it. You want to hear a story about one of the craziest last meals ever?
I would love to.
So the state of Texas, there was this one guy in death row. It's weird you asked me this because I read a whole article about last meals the other day.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Why read a book about history or calculus? Let's read about what people ate before they were executed. And this one guy in Texas, he said, I want 2 steaks. I want a loaf of bread. I want a deep dish pizza. I want a fully roasted chicken, 6 ice cream sundaes, bag of gummy bear. Yeah. And he just requested all this stuff. And Texas was like, all right, fine, we'll get it for you. And they got all of this food, all this crazy stuff, put it in front of him. And he looked at it and went, no, I'm not hungry anymore. And he didn't eat a bite of it. He just did it to screw with the state. And ever since then, they said, no, we're never doing that again. Pick one thing. What do you want? What a move, dude. I can't believe that they would go out of that way to get that much food for one guy.
I almost
you didn't think something was going to happen here?
You want to know how cool of a move that was?
That's a move.
That I almost forgot that guy was on death row for a second. And I was almost like, that guy's awesome. But then, I mean,
that guy's my hero. Well, no.
He's about to die.
Well played, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good move. That's an amazing move.
I mean, it's on the state at that point. You just brought the man 20,000 calories worth of food.
I mean, you cost the state like $30.
I don't know if probably a little more than $30.
You cost the state at max $200. What are you gonna do? Kill me?
Send me to jail.
That would be a great way to drop a dad joke there at the end. What are you gonna do? Shoot me? Oh,
those were his last words. What are you gonna do? Shoot? Ah!
If you don't count the gurgling sound, it was his last word.
If you don't count the gurgling sound. So what would yours be?
Oh man, probably something wholesome that I can't have anymore.
Something wholesome.
No, you're about to die. You're probably thinking of things like family and everything like that. I'd like My grandfather passed away 15, 16 years ago. It's been a long time. We were very close. I want my grandfather's chicken and dumplings. They got to make it just like him or I'm not dying.
I don't think you have. I don't think you can control that.
Hey, that's on the state at
I
this
don't think you can will off a lethal injection.
It's on the state at this point, dude.
Hey, I ain't doing it.
I'm like a ghost. I'm like a ghost. I'm not at full rest until
mind over matter. Mind over matter. I'm just gonna wink this one off.
I'm not going.
Stand a chance.
I'm not going until they make it just like my papa used to.
They're gonna expedite you. They're gonna send you to the front of the line for that one. Oh, you're not? Okay.
Not happening, dude.
Oh, hey, look, we just had an opening. Get up there.
I don't know. Steak's the common answer here, but I got one. I want chicken nuggets, but I want it in that Szechuan sauce from McDonald's. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
From like the Mulan promotion?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not going until you get me the Szechuan sauce.
I want the double down sandwiches from KFC where they replace the bread with meat. And I know they don't sell them anymore, but I want it. And I ain't dying until you get it.
Just 3 pieces of chicken.
It's just a piece of chicken with some cheese and bacon in between. I just always used to think, like, how greasy and disgusting you'd be after polishing down a double down sandwich. You're just holding pieces of meat.
Oh, my gosh. Thinking about some of the embarrassing things fast food restaurants have put out. We really need to honor, like, even though some fast food places may not be our favorites, we need to appreciate the contributions that some fast food restaurants have had, like with certain items, like McDonald's. Like, they've got the Big Mac. It's a staple. There are teachers all over the world. I know several that we'll use as an example with all the preservatives in it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll buy a Big Mac at the beginning of the school year, keep it in their drawer till the end of the year, and it'll look the exact same.
Yeah.
Educational, the Big Mac is. Double quarter pounder, delicious, right? The contributions of McDonald's has been great. You know what KFC's contribution is to the world?
What?
The KFC bowl.
The bowls. Yeah.
Oh, dude, the chicken, mashed potato, corn, gravy, and cheese all mashed together in a bowl.
KFC's been testing our limits for years, and for years we've gone back to them and said, "You're gonna have to try harder." we'll eat that.
We celebrate every time they do it. It's 2 different things for KFC. In one room, it's how the manufacturers of the food react, and in the other room, it's how we react. Here's how we react every time KFC does something delicious. It was so good. That was delicious. I would like another one. I'm going to eat that until the end of time. Here's how the manufacturers act when they go in there, and they just try everyone loves their new item. They just won't die.
How are they still consuming this stuff?
I can only try to clog their arteries so much.
I had half of one the other day and I wept for hours. I instantly became sad. I don't know why. How are they doing it? It's crazy.
KFC criminally underrating us.
Dude, Taco Bell for a little while, they had like these like triangular kind of like crunch wrap things with the tortilla, and it just had like meat and cheese and like maybe some Fritos or something in it. And the commercials, it looked so good. And then I got one and ended up just getting a bag of meat and cheese, like all the like and the commercial, like that triangle crunch wrap thing, it holds its integrity. You can I can take this on the go. I could eat this on a bike ride. Dude, you get one in real life and it all just seeps to the bottom and you're holding the tortilla by the top and it feels like you're eating a garbage bag full of hot, greasy meat.
You ever seen those videos of how?
And dude, it didn't stop me. I kept getting it.
The videos of what they do to your food in order to get a nice picture for a commercial. Have you seen those videos?
Yeah.
Dude, that blows my mind.
You should all be sued for fraud.
Now they're the obvious ones where they're like, they're using spray paint instead of like actual grease or something. Like, oh, that's crazy. But the one that blows my mind every time, because I've tried to do this recipe or a recipe like it and it never worked, is like when they take a picture of a soup and they got the tomatoes floating on top of it.
Yeah.
But in reality, they just put a smaller bowl inside the soup and they set the tomatoes on top of it. You know how many soups I've made? Think of the soups. Think of the soups.
Do you know how many grape tomatoes I've drowned?
Lost a lot of good men. A lot of good tomatoes.
It's a shame. Keep trying, y'all. We're still going to eat it.
Hey, just wait, too. We'll wrap this up because it's 3:00. But just wait. We can talk about this on Monday, too. Now that you're getting married in March, be living with your partner, say goodbye to some food you like, man. you're going to have to, especially if your partner's a picky eater. My wife is a picky eater. I'm not a picky eater. There are several things that I haven't been able to enjoy in a very long time because she either can't eat them or doesn't like them. So, get ready. Taco Bell's one of them.
Why would you do this right at the end of the show on a Friday? You're just going to end this and be like, all right, before we end this show, I just want to let you know the life as you know it is going to get a little worse.
Anyways, we'll see you Monday.
Yikes. What a bummer, man. How are you going to send me out like that?
So on Monday, I'm going to tell you exactly how your life is over, and we'll preview the national championship game.
Whatever.
That's going to be 2 to 3 on Monday afternoon. Y'all have a great weekend. Also, I should probably end this by talking about the news that the Trash Pandas released today. Tony Mac News Time. Don't forget, hey, we're cool here.
Hey.
We're talking and
speed it up. These clips aren't long.
Oh.
I got 2.
Coming up next month, we are going to have a job fair. If you want to work and be a game day staffer here at Toyota Field, come out. You can apply and interview for up to 3 positions at our job fair. And then also, we've already talked about the Auburn baseball game coming here in February. We already know that they're going to play UNA here at Toyota Field. But we announced today, all those people that kept bugging me when we announced the Auburn game, saying, well, that's great, but when are we going to do an Alabama game here? When's Alabama going to play here? When's Alabama going to play here? March 28th. We announced today, March 28th, Alabama baseball is going to host MTSU here at Toyota Field.
I'm repeating.
So go online, learn more about all those things. Until Monday from 2 to 3, I'm Tony Mac. That's Tricky Ricky.
See you later, everybody. Have a great weekend. And I need to fill like 6 more seconds before this beat stops. And we're out.